Hello, everyone, and welcome to Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays podcast right here on Red Media Radio. And yeah, every Tuesday I am super excited because it gives me a chance to be with a worthy women filled with wisdom and to inspire so many. And thank you to everyone tuning in right here on YouTube. We appreciate you so much. And yeah, this is about to be a great conversation. And we're on a mission to inspire you, to encourage you, to help you get educated and have you feeling good. So go ahead and grab your tea or whatever drink you like and get ready. And yeah, I'm super excited to have this worthy woman filled with wisdom, Hattie. And Hattie, would you please introduce yourself to our awesome audience?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hattie Elmore. I am Hattie Empowers, and I am holistic coach, but I'm also an empowerment advocate as well as a social worker. And Hattie Empowers is about uplifting, inspiring, and encouraging, empowering people to live their true best life.
Oh, Hattie, I love it. We're gonna dive deep into it. Hattie, how are you doing this Tuesday?
I am tired. However, I am definitely blessed and I have no complaints, right? We can complain, but I have no complaints. So I'm feeling pretty good to be here with you. And thank you for inviting me into your space. And I'm just ready to talk and sip tea.
Ah, me too, Hattie. Thank you for showing up. And Hattie, let me tell you, I'm loving the blue. I'm loving the
Oh,
time.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, and audience, we're gonna title this episode Relate to Create. And we're going to go on a journey. But what got me thinking of this is you have to relate to yourself, underself yourself to create an environment, a space, and healthy relationship for others. And Hattie, oh my goodness, she has some impressive content. That's what attracted me to her, and we are LinkedIn connections. And Hattie, you have a whole brand. Hattie Empowers. Let us know. We want to know all the tea on your brand. When did you start it? Why that name? And what is the problem you are trying to solve?
Okay. So Hattie Empowers will actually be 4 years old this month.
Congratulations.
So we have a birthday coming up. Thank you so much. So I'm pretty excited about that. So Hattie Empowers was inspired and created based off of the work that I do. So a part of the work that I do, I love the fact that I get to do the work that I love and get paid for it full time, right? But what happened with that is that, of course, you have limitations when you're working for someone else, respectfully.
Right.
However, there's other work and other challenges that I want to challenge humans with to truly live their best life. And I do that outside of the scope of the everyday work. So I just brought in what I brought into my day job, into my outside job. And it's really about healing hearts and creating healthy relationships by having boundaries, but by first taking accountability for your actions and your behaviors and how you show up in your relationships to show other people how to treat you. So I created workshops that can talk through and love people through these lessons and through these teachings. So I have a series of a couple of workshops that I do, which one is the love series workshop, one is the blooming season workshop, right? Because now you're blooming and you're thriving in this newfound love that you have for yourself that you can now give to others. I also, besides creating that, became a holistic coach because I wanted to add another piece. So a part of Hattie Empowers, I do empowerment sessions, whether that's individual sessions, group sessions, or couple sessions. After you get empowered to understand who you are and to truly love yourself and be in tune with who you are, then you can figure out what you want. And then you move on to the coaching piece. And the coaching piece is when I coach you through that. We have 3 different coaching packages, which is level up, the glow up, and then under reconstruction. So under reconstruction is when you're really doing the real work. That's a 3-month package, right? That's when you're beginning and you pretty much don't know who you are, where you're going, when what's going on. And you probably have found this new discovered love for yourself that you've never experienced before. The glow up is basically that you pretty much know where you're going in a direction. You just need a little sprinkle of a Hattie Empowers, right? And then you're glowing up. So the packages do vary, and it's individual based and based upon what you need. Now the holistic coaching is really for women between the ages of 25 and 50, right? That's my niche. That's who I'm targeting with that. However, the empowerment piece is for everyone. All ages, groups, genders, is welcome to anyone who needs to be uplifted, empowered, and inspired. Mostly by yourself, because you can do that for yourself. You just have to figure out who you are and discover who you are. And then I'm also writing a book. So I have a book. It's called The 30-Day Notice, that will come out on March 16th, 2023. This is my birthday, right? So it's dropping on my birthday. So that's the gift to myself. And that book came from the Love Series workshop. The last piece of the Love Series workshop, the finale, is 30-day notice, which are evictions that you are handing out to people who you have relationships with that you now need to part ways with. So the same way you would get an eviction notice from housing is the same way you would get an eviction notice to tell somebody they either have to remove themselves from your heart or from your life. And what does that look like? So it takes you by steps. The book is more of a guide, and it guides you through how you can go through a 30-day notice, but also see if someone is deserving of a 30-day notice, or if you need to take accountability for what you allowed in that relationship. And maybe you just need to check in with yourself and with your heart. Along with the book is also a journal, right? Because if you decide to go through a 30-day notice, the journal will actually help you to get through those steps by writing things out. Because for some people, your process may take, and your journey may take longer than someone else's. Your resource may not look the same. Your finances may not look the same. You might not have a village and a support system that looks the same. So you may need a little more loving and coaching through that. So if you buy the duo together, then you can actually really do the work. So that is what Hattie Empowers is about. I am heavy mostly on Instagram, where I'm inspiring and doing videos. I do a Let's Talk Tuesday to have real transparent conversations, and it's all based around relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't just mean your sexual relationships. I mean your platonic relationships, your friendships, your associateships, your family relationships, your relationships with your employer and your coworkers. So looking at all of your relationships that may be hurting you and figuring out the why.
Let me commend you, sis. And we're gonna break that down because you said a lot, and I want the audience to be on it. First and foremost, Hattie, thank you for doing that, because having healthy relationships and understanding you, and I stand behind that so much because I am a life coach, and one of my specialties is definitely the healing and self-love and faith, and that all relates to who you are. So let me thank you for what you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Keep doing it. Congratulations to on 4 successful years under Hattie Empowers. That is absolutely amazing. Has it gone by fast for you?
It has. It truly has. I'm definitely excited and blessed. It has been a challenge. I feel like this has been 2022 has been my most productive year. So this last year has been most productive. I have booked the most workshops, had the most individual sessions, was able to turn in my book to be edited by my editor. So yeah, this last year has been the most fruitful. So I'm definitely looking forward to a tremendous amount of blessings and more work to come in the upcoming year. So that's what I am hoping for, manifesting, and also putting the work into achieve those goals.
Oh, I love it. Hattie, you mentioned some awesome workshops, construction, glowing up. Can you let the audience know what can they expect from this workshop? And you mentioned one workshop was 3 months. How long are the others? Are they one-on-one? Are they an hour? Are they conducted orally, or video?
Mm-hmm. So what you just referred to was the coaching packages. The coaching packages are month long. So there's a 3-month package, a 2-month package, and a 1-month package, depending on what your need is. So that's separate from the actual workshops for empowerment workshops. The empowerment workshops are an hour long. They can run to an hour and 15 minutes. I like to have interactive workshops. So it's me hosting and creating this safe space, and me just really facilitating and putting some of the gems out there. But it's definitely the workshops. it becomes a community. It's such a beautiful setting and a beautiful space, because what happens is I allow people that whatever comes up for you, I just ask for you to let it come out. So a lot of times, although I could be talking, right, a lot of times it's the people, the participants, who are actually doing a lot of the speaking, because they're sharing their narratives, they're sharing their stories, they are becoming unmasked and vulnerable, and they letting it all out in a safe space. Right, nothing is recorded. The chats aren't recorded. It's always a safe space, and I always feel like folks feed off of other people. So not only are they getting healed in these sessions, I'm also getting healed. I get healed by the work in which I do. Right, I tell people all the time, I've been on a 5-year healing journey, and it's still going. Right, and there's sometimes where I relapse from my healing journey. Right, so it's constant work, but those sessions are hour long. Empowerment sessions can go between 45 minutes to an hour, and those are individual sessions, but those can also become couple sessions as well. You can bring your partner. And then I also do Zoom workshops, which are open workshops, so people could just individually sign up for a workshop that I happen to be doing. So it could be part of the love series. It could be blooming. Who am I? Discovering who you are. Parent advocacy, budget 101. So there's a couple of different workshops that I put out there. And once again, most of those things are advertised and marketed on Instagram, which is where I'm heavily at. And I tell people about those workshops. I'm also a vendor for the DOE for the state of New York. So if there are PTAs or guidance counselors or social workers or school administrators who are looking for someone, a consultant, to come in to provide any type of professional development workshops or parenting workshops, I also do that as well.
Oh, I love that.
Me
You do
too.
a lot of isn't it isn't it absolutely wonderful that we're just in a day and age where there is so many possibilities to really live out our purpose?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
It's a
you
blessing.
are living it.
It's definitely a blessing. It's my heart's work. So let me just say that this work is easy for me. It is easy on my hardest day. It is easy when I am drained, when I am mentally checked out. Not that it's good to work when you're mentally checked out, but it's easy for me because it's truly my heart's work. I am a service worker. I
Yes.
provide service. So although this service come with a fee, I'm from a nonprofit background. So I'm a service provider. I work for the community, and this is just what I do. And a lot of the workshops and also the layers to Hattie Empowers came because I saw the needs of the people that I was servicing. So I
Right.
listen. So although once again I can speak a lot, I often close my mouth and I listen more because I need
Mhm.
to know what is needed from me and of me. I do believe that the work that I do is effective, and I do believe that I touch hearts, and I do believe that I am I'm a purpose. You know, I am the purpose, and I have a passion for what it is that I do, and I love what I do. It's definitely my heart's work. So it's easy for me, even on my hardest days. Like I said, I had 1 year where I felt like I was most successful, but those first 3 years were not. However, it's my heart's work, and I believe in what I do. I believe in my brand. I
Yes.
believe in Hattie Empowers.
Yes, Hattie, I love it. And you spoken to me too because I'm new into life coach Miss Starr. And March is actually, speaking of your birthday, March will be my first full year. And just what you said, I feel the same way. Like I believe in the brand. I'm a service worker, and I also come from a nonprofit background too, Hattie, which was amazing. I worked with a lot of individuals with developmental disabilities, mental illness,
Mm.
homeless shelters, and now to be in this space. So that resonates with me so much, but absolutely loving what you're doing, and then also setting boundaries for ourselves. I absolutely love that. And I love the name Hattie Empowers. And as you know, that is my like a slogan. I'm on a mission to empower women. So Hattie, I love it. And we can't let the audience, we got to let the audience know What are all your social media handles so that way they can connect with you if they want to sign up for coaching, if they want to sign up for the workshops, and you have so many parenting, budgeting, where can the audience locate all this empowerment?
So it's Hattie Empowers on everything. I've recently gotten off of Facebook. I think that I haven't been on it for so long that it became foreign to me. However, I am on Instagram once again heavily. I am also on LinkedIn. I have a Hattie Elmore, which is for work for my day job that I do. I do work for higher ed, and then it's Hattie Empowers is for this work in which I do. And I'm also on TikTok with Hattie Empowers, but TikTok is really to push you over to the Instagram page. So you can reach me there. You can also go to www.hattieempowers.com. Once again, everything is Hattie Empowers, so you cannot get confused. But yes, and the name, I know you asked me earlier, I want to empower people. I feel as though a lot of it came from, usually when you hear empowerment and you see a woman doing it, you think that it's just, I just want to empower women. It's a woman empowerment. No. From the work that I do and working with all different ages and socioeconomic status backgrounds, ethnicities and races and cultures, I want to empower and inspire all people and all humans. And I believe that a lot of people do not know how to advocate for themselves. They don't feel empowered. They don't feel inspired and encouraged to do those things. So I want to empower people to do that, because in order for you to get what you need out of life, you have to be empowered to ask for it. Right.
Yes.
And you think that it's so easy to ask the simplest questions until someone gets in front of you and they do not know how to advocate for themselves to ask the appropriate questions to receive the help in which they need. And a lot of times in our relationships, that's how we suffer, because we're not stating what we need. We don't feel empowered to do that. And it doesn't mean that the person that you're speaking to and want to approach is not allowing you to be empowered to do that, but that's your own stuff that you're taking on. So a part of my work is really for you to take accountability for yourself, to feel empowered, so that way you can get what it is that you need out of life. So we can stop faking as if we're living our best life and truly live our best life. So that is a part of what I do. And it just happens to go with Hattie, right? It just fits.
Yes.
It just fits.
Hattie, I love that. Audience, we want y'all to advocate and to feel comfortable advocating. And now I believe it. Y'all know how I do. I believe in positive affirmation, not just saying it, but living. So our audience, we're gonna call y'all the empowerment audience today. And remember, we are relating to create healthy relationships with everyone. And Hattie, that is amazing what you're doing. And I believe in advocating because it's so important. Hattie, let us know. There are so many programs, so many workshops. What makes Hattie Empowers unique?
I am always me. And I bring my heart to my work. I am very transparent. I am vulnerable myself. I am unmasked. I am real. I show tough love, but I do it with love.
Yes.
And that is how I show up and I present. I am non-judgmental. I leave my biaism at the door. I leave my stuff and I check it where it's at. And I definitely show up and I'm present for my people. And that's exactly how I show up in my workshops. So I believe that when you step into the space that I create, which is a safe space for anyone who joins and allows me to be in their space, they feel that. So once again, it's also a part of me listening to folks and understanding what their needs are and putting their needs above my own. So it's not me going in and telling them what they need to do or what it is that they need, or how they should move forward, but it's really listening to them and empowering them to do what's best for them. And that's the space that I create. I definitely don't take for granted that folks allow me into their spaces. I don't take for granted that folks share with me and that they are unmasked and vulnerable with me. And those are the spaces that I create. And I believe that it sits well with folks and allows them to come back. So it definitely is different, because it's as if even the book, if you know me, you know my personality, you will know that it's me and that
Right.
I wrote it and it's not someone else. But it also looks as if it's just you and I speaking with each other. It will feel
Mm,
as if we're in a session together. It will feel as personable as I needed to feel. You will feel loved. You will feel seen. You will feel safe. And that is an environment that I create, which allows people to feel like they want to come back and actually do the work. And I won't let you leave without doing the work. I will hold you accountable.
I love that because I feel like it's a two-way street, right? And I'm a
Mhm.
coach as well. So we really believe in you have to do work. So one of the things accountable is if I give you a homework assignment, I'm expecting you to do it because it's a chance for you to reflect and really understand and really go after and say, hey, I'm gonna work on these goals. But it's a two-way street. I love what you said, Hattie, too, because I see that in your content about you being real and people relating to that. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. So yeah,
Thank
go
you.
check out our wonderful empowerment audience. Go check out Hattie Empowers. And Hattie, you talk, oh my goodness, I love the name of your book. How long have you been writing this awesome book?
So it's been a year, and I will say that it shouldn't have had taken a year. Um, However, once again, getting sidetracked, distracted, working on other things, and also, once again, when I tell you, sometimes you relapse yourself from your own healing journey. So just has stopped a little bit, but I did start writing the book in February of 2022. So it took me a year, but not a full year. But it did take me a year to get myself all the way together. But I'm also happy that it did that because I also felt like a part of the journey that I went through for the 11 months also added to the book. Because in the book, I am also sharing a part of myself with you. So what happens is in my sessions, I ask you to come and share, right? And to open up your heart. And I also believe in disclosing so that you feel safe enough to know that we're all sharing. So in the book, I'm asking you to really break down your brokenness and why you're reading the book and why you may need to do a 30-day notice. But then I'm also sharing with you my own process that I had to do when I did my own 30-day notice and what that looked like for me. So it's giving you examples, it's evoking questions, it's having direct communication, it's bringing awareness to you. So there's parts in the book where you're going to stop and things are going to resonate with you. It's points where you're going to want to put the book down because it's too much for you. It's too heavy at the time. There are questions that I'm asking you. There's parts where I'm checking in with your heart to make sure that you're good because you're not going to always be good. Right? This is a process that is going to break you down. This is a process where you may be terminating some relationships that you might have thought were going to be a lifetime. And some of them may be family members. Some of them may be people that you really felt like you loved or were in love with. So it's hard work and it's hard stuff. So I also wanted to take my time with the book as well to make sure that I'm giving pieces of myself, but I'm also putting in the book what people actually need.
Oh, I love that. I am so excited for you. And Hattie, is this your first book, right?
It is. It is.
Yes. I am so excited. And Hattie can also on all your websites, Hattie Empowers, is that where the empowerment audience can find all the book and everything?
Yeah, so the book will most likely be on Amazon and Lulu. I am on March 16th is my birthday, and that's when the book is dropping. But I am looking to do a book signing in New York, on
Yes.
possibly on March 25th. So that will definitely heavily, right now the book is already being promoted on social media, but that will also be promoted as well when the time comes when I will do a book signing and you can actually physically pick up your book. Books will also be mailed and shipped to folks, and you can also request those books as well on my social media site. So yeah, it'll be
Oh, that
available.
is so, I'm so excited.
Me
And
too.
Hattie, as we're talking about it to our empowerment audience, what is the name of one chapter in your book? So my audience gets a little sneak peek of this extraordinary book.
Awesome, awesome. So one part is forgiving yourself,
Mm,
but it's called forgiving me.
mm,
A
mm,
part
mm,
of
mm.
terminating a relationship or looking at what you did to yourself, because there's a lot of accountability that will be addressed in this book. You will not come out not knowing that there's things about yourself that you may need to change in how you show up in relationships. You will be forced
Absolutely.
to do that through reading this book. A part of that is also forgiving yourself. A lot of times we are hard on ourselves and we don't give ourselves grace and patience because we're blaming ourselves for the breakdown of the relationship, blaming ourselves for what we allowed, blaming ourselves for the hurt that we inflicted on ourselves, blaming ourselves for what we put ourselves through or the changes or transitions that we had to go through and we figured we did not, the regrets that we'll feel, the guilt that comes behind that as well. Guilt is also another part of the book, but forgiving me is a huge part because that's something some of us need to do daily.
Yes.
So that is when I speak about that in the book, it's also for you to get that practice in daily, because we're humans merely trying to make it in a world where we really have no guidance. Right? We are really thrown in here by other humans who don't know any more than we do. But because they're adults, we're thinking that they're preparing us for life. And we're all
Right.
just really walking around blinded until we experience life and learn from those lessons. So we're constantly having to forgive ourselves because even like I said, when I said I'm on my healing journey, but then there's relapses, I now have to forgive myself for the relapse.
Yes, me
So
too.
what hurt did I now inflict on myself, or where did I backpedal on something that I said I would not backpedal on? And now I have to re-forgive myself for that. So that's something that we have to do daily. So not only are we, if you're spiritual or religious, not only are you praying for forgiveness, right?
Right.
You also have to forgive yourself. And a lot of times
Yes.
we can constantly praying for forgiveness because we have not yet forgiven ourselves.
And we
So,
have to forgive ourselves
mhm,
to move on and to be the best that we can be. And you know what, Hattie, that resonates with me because last week I actually did an episode and it was forgiveness.
mm,
And the thought God put that in my spirit was so important to move further in life. So I, audience, y'all go check it out. It all resonates. And Hattie, I really want to break this down because you talked about healing hurts and you talked about yourself and going through the healing. Now everyone should get healed, and healing is a lifetime journey,
mhm,
but you
mhm.
want to get to a point where you're like, I'm ready to be in a relationship, I'm gonna own my happiness. And right now, audience, empowerment audience, we are in the healing series. And Hattie, let us know from your work, what does healing look like and what can you recommend to our empowerment audience for healing?
Accountability. You have
Yes.
to own your stuff. You cannot properly heal if you are not taking accountability for your actions and your behaviors that got you to the point in which you need to heal.
Yes.
You have to take accountability. So even if you're handing out these notices, you have to look at what did you do to contribute in the breakdown of this relationship? What did you do to contribute in this hurt? How could you have shown up differently? What about yourself that was ugly that you may need to now change? If we all look in the mirror, and this is something I say quite often in my Let's Talk Tuesdays and in my workshops, if we look in the mirror, we can identify with certain things about ourselves that we don't quite like, certain things
Right.
about ourselves that we also want to change. Just know that those same things are showing up in your relationships. So taking accountability is the first step to healing. You cannot heal if you do not take accountability for your actions, your behaviors, things that you said. Your tongue is lethal. So you have to take accountability first. No one is perfect. We're imperfect humans, which means you did something too. And the question is,
Right.
what is that? What are you willing to change? What are you willing to stop doing? And what are you willing to address to heal from? So I
Mm.
would say it first starts with accountability. We have to take accountability. I took a lot of accountability, and in a book, you will see where I've taken accountability and still take accountability. Where I look
Mm.
at myself and reflect on things that need to be changed, and still look at myself and reflect on things that I need to change. I want to be a better human. Every day I wake
Yes.
up trying to be a better me. Whatever
Mm.
mistakes I made previously, whatever I might have said that wasn't so nice or kind, even if it was to myself, I want to show up differently the next day.
Hattie, first and foremost, I agree 100%. Taking accountability for your actions and self-reflection is a step that is adequate. And it's saying, you know what, hey, I might have got it wrong this time, but the next time I'm not. This is something that I can improve on. You can't change a person. You can give suggestions, but you can change yourself and your outlook and your attitude on things. So I agree with you 100%. And I love what you said. Every day I want it to be better. And how can I make this day better? And how can I be better? How can I grow? And I always say, like, every day I like to learn something new and grow each day. Y'all gotta go check out that book, Empowerment Audience. I love it, Hattie. We talked about healing and taking accountability. On your healing journey, Hattie, what are some things that you are doing on your healing journey?
One of the big things that I do is I definitely take accountability. I tap into my love language, and my love language besides physical touch is communication. And I make sure I communicate my needs and wants. I make sure I communicate things that I do not like and that is not serving me. I make sure that I communicate whenever I am hurt. I make sure I communicate my feelings and my emotions, and I have direct communication. I also do a lot of check-ins. I check in with my own heart. I check in with those that I love. I check in not only to see how they're doing, but also to make sure that I'm showing up in the way that they need me to show up for them. So not only are they showing up for me in my love language, but I'm showing up for them in their love language. So that is most important to me, because that was a breakdown of a lot of my relationships. It was a lack of communication. And not that I wasn't an effective communicator, but at some points I was silenced. At other points I was defensive. So I showed up defensively, which means if I did communicate, it might have came out a little lethal because I was already on the defense. Even in moments and times where I did not have to be defensive, it was not called for. So it's really me tapping into my love language to give myself what it is that I need so that I can stay content. I'm also okay with being still. And when I say being still, I honestly mean that physically being still. If I'm not okay, it's not about self-care, materialistically doing something like going to get my nails done or going for that massage. It's like, I don't want to be around anyone. I need my own space. I don't feel like sitting in anyone's chair. That is not going to serve me in this moment. I need to be still. I need a quiet space. I need to be by myself with my own thoughts. I need to understand what it is that I'm feeling and understanding why I'm not okay. So those practices has helped me to continue on in my healing journey, which has made me a happier human. I am happier because of that. And I can show up for other people happier because of that, which also is why I said that, this work is easy for me and I can do it. And that's also because I'm checking in with myself. I'm making sure that I'm good first. And when I'm not okay, I'm okay with saying I'm not okay and then expressing why I'm not okay. And I'm okay with not being okay.
Right.
That works for me. It works for me. So that has definitely helped me in my healing journey. And I speak about that in the book. And I encourage others to do the same and figure out what that looks like for you. Because everyone's is different, right? So everyone, is not going to go to the church. Everyone is not going to pray. Everyone doesn't have an advisor. Everyone doesn't have a mentor or a person or a best friend. Everyone has their own thing. It is whatever your person is that you can go to, and whatever your practice is that helps you.
I love the key points: taking accountability, taking the time to be still and self-reflect to get the healing that you need. I think that is so important. And like you said, Hattie, there's so many ways to heal. Whether, I know for me, therapy was very useful, finding that right person. Also too, whether you like to go out, comedy, whatever heals you, the right person, the right space, but taking yourself to that space so you can heal. Because Empowerment Audience, we want you to heal this year. This is 2023, and we want you to come out better and stronger. Hattie, I love that, and I'm glad that taking the time for ourselves only blesses us to bless other people too.
Absolutely.
when we're healthy, when we're taking the time for ourselves, we come up as better wives, we come up as better mothers, better persons, sisters, brothers, whatever the case is, to be the best that we can. Because at the end of the day, we're all interdependent on each other. So if
Absolutely.
I'm healthy, ultimately we're going to heal and help make our community and those around us healthy and feel whole.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm. I love that. Hattie, one of the things I also love, we talked about healing, is you talk a lot about self care, which is
Mhm.
equally important. And Hattie, let us know for you, what does self care look like?
Get ready for this because most people say the same type of things, right? So for me, self care looks like taking care of yourself,
Mm,
taking care of your heart, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your physical being in check with your feelings and your emotions. A lot of times people feel like the self-care is going to get your hair done, going to get your maintenance done, going shopping if that's what you need, going out to take yourself out to dinner. Sometimes self-care really means that you need to take care of yourself.
mhm,
You need to check in with yourself. So for me, once again, doing those things is just, for me, it's just maintenance, right? I work out, I lift, I power lift. So for me, getting a massage is really just taking care of the muscles in my body and the soreness and my old age that I just that I just went into. Getting my nails done and my brows or my hair done is really for me to look presentable for work, right?
right.
Because I have to keep up with my maintenance. So for me, those are necessities and ways for me. But for me to once again sit still, checking with my mental health, checking in with my people, making sure that I'm good, making sure that those are around me are good, making sure that I'm keeping good energy and spirits and vibes around me is self-care to me. So it's really me looking at taking care of my heart. And why? Because I haven't always taken care of my heart. But I have gotten massages. I have gotten my nails done. I have gotten my hair done. I have gone out to eat dinner. I have done those things. I went to social gatherings. I have done that,
Right.
of checking in with my heart and my mental health, I have not
Mm,
always done. So I really wasn't taking care of myself. I started this self-care girlfriend group with different parts of my villages and brought them together. And that was because I said that I don't go anywhere. I don't have any social gatherings. I don't go out with my girlfriends. It's really about work, my daughters, like whatever it is that I'm doing, right? And but a part of those gatherings, because I call it self-care girlfriends, I always incorporate a Hattie Empowers workshop. And I
yes.
thank God that they allow me to do that in the midst of our social gatherings. They always allow me to throw in certain questions that's going to evoke awareness or to get them motivated or encouraged or inspired to do something and do more for themselves. They always allow me to do this, and not that I necessarily ask for permission, however, they give me permission to do that, but I would never have a self-care outing with these set of women and not make sure they're not taking care of themselves. So I
Right.
always make sure I incorporate that in there because I truly believe that self-care is about your heart, your mental health, your emotions, your feelings. I believe that needs to be checked in. So for me, that's what that is.
I love what you said, because people look at the surface level of it, but we need to learn that self care internally. And like you said, you can get a massage and nails and your hair done. Those are great things. But if you're not checking in with yourself to say, am I breathing okay? I don't want to have a panic attack today. So let me take the time to prepare for my day, because I know today I might have to go somewhere and it might be a little difficult, or I
Mhm.
might see someone. So checking in with yourself, with your heart, with your own maintenance internally is
Yes,
self-care.
absolutely.
I love that too, Hattie. And empowerment audience, y'all gotta go check Hattie out, because she has some great content on working out. Hattie, how often do you work out?
I try to do 6 days a week. Work really hates on me, so it doesn't allow me to. But for the most part, 5 days a week. And I lift every time that I go. It definitely, that's for me a part of my self care. I definitely think a lot. I don't socialize when I'm in the gym. I really just focus on myself. I flush through a lot of my thoughts and a lot of my feelings when I am doing it. It definitely makes me feel good. about myself. It makes my mental health feel good. It physically makes
Yes.
me feel good. So I definitely, for me, that is something that is, I am consistent with. I am on top of that. I do not take it for granted that I'm able to still physically move in the way in which I want to move.
Right.
Lifting for me, deadlifts is my love language. Like so I love it. And that's one thing that I can say that I consistently do for myself. Right?
Mm.
I may skip the nails, I may skip the brows, I just canceled my massage appointment for today. I probably got 3 stacked up that I can do if I wanted to, because that's how many times I said I canceled, but I will not this morning, I will not miss a session in the gym. I will not miss that moment of being with myself and my thoughts and taking care of myself. Yeah.
Right, and getting some energy, it builds you in every certain way. And when you were talking about lift, when you think of lift, right, you everyone wants to be lifted up. So even just when you look at it from that perspective, you're
Mm-hmm.
lifting for your body, but you're lifting up your mind, you're lifting up your body, you're lifting up your spirit, and it makes you feel great about yourself. And
Absolutely.
we want people to feel that way, Hattie. And I'm loving the videos because it's definitely inspiring. Because I
Thank
honestly,
you.
empowerment audience, I need to work out more, but that's but
Thank
that's one
you.
of my goals for 2023, Hattie. So you're definitely helping me on that too.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes,
You got
let's do
this. You
it.
got this.
um Hattie, one of the things that I also love is you have a slogan: tag me in. Hattie, tell us where that was adopted from. I'm loving it over here.
No problem. So tag me in is basically to tag me in for services. So how I explain the concept is that, in wrestling, when we used to watch wrestling as kids, and sometimes they would have a teammate, and when they are distressed, when they are beat, when they are down and out and they lost their breath and now they're discouraged and they feel like they're going to lose the fight, they tag their partner in, and their partner comes into the ring refreshed and they're ready to take on the challenge for their other
Mhm.
partner. I'm your tag in partner. I'm your
Yes.
accountability partner. You tag me in when you need the services. Tag me in when you need the extra love or the tough love. Tag me in when you need the services. Tag me in when you need the support, the empowerment, the inspiration. Tag me in when you need to be uplifted. So that's where that comes in. So tag me in basically means tag me in for services. I am here for you. The love is here for you. The services is here for you. And the space for your healing is
Mm.
here for you.
Oh, I love that. I love the analogy that you use because, like you said, tag you in when you're feeling this way. Oh, Hattie, I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Thank you.
Oh, y'all heard her. Wonderful empowerment audience. Go tag Hattie in when you
Yes.
need to
Tag
know.
me in.
We are here. I love it. I love it. I love it, Hattie. And
Thank
Hattie,
you.
we talked about the book. You also had, and we talked about your services. You, Hattie Empowers, also have products. Tell us about your products as well, Hattie.
Oh, awesome. So I do have a store on Zazu, www.zazu.com/tag me in. So we sell apparel on there. So hoodies, sweaters, leggings. The leggings are the best. They're non-see-through. They are truly the best. If you look on my page, you'll see me with the hoodies and the hats and the leggings on. We have t-shirts. We also have office supplies. We have mugs and cups, and we have other accessories. We have banners. So pretty much anything that you would need, you can get a tag me in. You can also personalize those tag me in shirts as well. So it's on zazu.com /tag me in.
I love it. And
Thank you.
empowerment audience, go check it out. Hattie rocks those hoodies. They look so nice and comfortable.
And
So
they are good quality. Thank you.
and why not purchase? Go ahead and purchase them with the leggings. You could be comfortable all day.
Exactly. And look cute.
Yes. And be helping and spreading positivity for yourself. That whole self-care. If you got a slogan on and it's talking about empowering, I mean, you're gonna feel power throughout the day. You don't necessarily have to say
Absolutely.
something, but you can wear it, you can present it to other people and just show up as who you are.
Exactly.
Oh. Yes, empowerment audience, go ahead and check it out. And Hattie, we talked about Hattie Empowers, we talked about the business, and we talked about yourself. If someone were to just say to you today, Hattie, from a personal level, we talked about you professionally, and you're a mom too. Um, who is Hattie?
Whew. So Hattie is compassion. Hattie is
Mm,
passion. Hattie is diligent. Hattie is weak. Hattie is strong. Hattie is inspiring. Hattie is sassy. Hattie is aggressive. Hattie is loving. Hattie is non-judgmental.
mm.
Hattie is a hot mess. So that is who I am at the core of me that allows me to be a social worker, a holistic
Yes.
coach, a mother. I was a wife, a partner, a friend, a sibling, an associate,
Mm,
a diary. That
mm,
allows me to be all of those things because of all those ingredients that makes Hattie who she is.
mm. Hattie, I love it. It resonates so much as you were talking because like you said, our trials and tribulations makes us the coaches that we are today, makes our brand today. And as you were saying, I was a wife before too. I am non-judgmental. I am loving. I can be weak. I can be strong. Those are things I would say about me. And I love that too, Hattie, because that shows you as a person. So you have the business, but who are you too, and what brings you along this journey to love what you want to do? Oh, mm, 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 mm. Let's go, Hattie. Let's go.
Yeah, those are the things that make me, able to do this work. But those are also all of those ingredients allow me to be selfless in this work.
Yes.
It definitely is selfless work. And it's a lot. Being a social worker in general, you are taking on a lot of other people's stuff,
Right.
and you definitely have to be non-judgmental to still give them
Yes.
what they need. Um, and that takes a lot. But also in this work, it definitely takes a lot of compassion and it takes a lot of passion. You have to be passionate about this work because it's tough and everyone is not built for it. Right. And then sometimes you can be tested as well. There's a lot of transference. There's a lot that goes into doing this work, but the work is never about me. I never personalize and make the work about me. So I keep it focused on whoever is getting the service or whoever is sitting before me because their stuff is not my stuff to own.
Right.
So it's
I
easier to
love
do it
that.
when you
Ooh,
don't look at it like that. It's not my stuff to own. Your trauma is not my trauma to own. Your hurt is not my hurt to own. Because if I sit in it with you, then how am I helping you through it?
right.
Right? So check
Mm,
your stuff at the door. It's not mine, it's yours.
mm.
And how can I help you?
Oh, I love that because that is the cornerstone too of my brand of being selfless and really helping that person and being empathetic to their
Mm-hmm.
needs. And I think, oh, Hattie, I love it. I think that is just so important, and that's what thrives us, right? Because we love what we're doing, and everyone has talents and specialties, and this is a talent to show up. So oh man, that is just awesome. One of the things too, Hattie, that you talked about, and I want you to explain this to the audience, is you talked about seasonal depression in
Mm-hmm.
one of your posts. And I think we're in that season and it's very common. Can you tell us
Mm-hmm.
more about that and how you can assist with seasonal depression?
A lot of times people don't pay attention, but sometimes I tell people all the time to watch your people's behaviors and their attitudes and don't personalize stuff so much. Right? We think about when the season changes and it starts getting darker earlier. We think about the holiday times and how much family and friends, our people actually have. We think about what does the darkness and the gloominess. Even today, I'm sitting by the window, and it just went from being sun outside to now it's cloudy because it's about to rain and storm. So when you think about things like that, that's also when people go into their dark spaces and start
Mm,
thinking negatively, right? But not only are we thinking about seasonal depression, which happens for some people during the entire winter season, But we also thinking about when people are going through episodes of depression.
Mhm.
And that is also seasonal. And that doesn't just necessarily have to happen in the wintertime with the examples that I just mentioned. It can be because a situation happened. It's situational depression. That's what I call it, right? So
Mm.
dissociation. So it's when an incident happens that leaves you in this state of depression and you're going through your season anyway. And a lot of times some people are not verbalizing necessarily what they're going through. And that's why I tell people, even what I do with my daughters, as if they're having an emotional state. I never think that it's because it's a time of the month for them, right? Because we
Right.
don't want to do that. But what I look at is I look at their state of mind and I look at their behaviors and their actions and how they might have changed, and I check in with them. But I
Yes.
look at what it is that they're not saying. I look at the nonverbal cues, right? And the things that they're not saying to check in with them, because at that time they may be going through something and they don't quite know what it is because they can't verbalize it or pinpoint where it's coming from. And a lot of times in seasonal depression and also in this dissociational depression and situational depression, you don't know, right? But in situationals, you do because a situation happened, but now you possibly don't know how you're feeling because you've never felt like this before.
Right.
But there's people who are diagnosed with depression, so it shows up for them quite often, so they already know what it is. And then there's people who don't know what it is. But then there's some people in our lives where we start to notice every time around a certain season, this is what happens to them. So part of my work is also talking people through that and
Yes.
pinpointing the why and what is it that you're feeling and the why and why what you're feeling it and when does it happen and what are the feelings that you're feeling, what are your emotions, what is it that you actually go through, right? To see how we can work through that. With some people it may just be medication and they actually need that with their diagnosis, right? With situational, it's really you just talking through it and going through it. But sometimes it may become that bad where other steps are needed. So it's
Right.
more so about looking at the individual, Amber, and working with an individual and trying and asking them those questions to figure out how could I guide you through that? What is it that you actually need, and what is it that you're actually going through? And is it actually depression, right?
Right.
Is it anxiety around the situation, right?
Mm.
Is it sadness that you're going through? Like what? Let's really pinpoint what it is.
I like that too, what you said, because we're not just assuming, we're trying, just like you said, how you brought the example of your daughter, not just assuming, but you're actually, what's going on? What time of the day is it? And I've always said this before, like journaling is so important. So if it's a certain time of the day you're feeling this, or if there, what happens before, what happens in the middle, what happens after? Thank you for describing that too, Hattie, because I think it's very important that we know what it is and know what we need to do to help that situation.
Absolutely.
Mm. Hattie, we are in 2023. Can you believe that, by the way?
I can. The time is just flying. January's almost over itself.
My
I can.
goodness. You're telling me it's just flying. Hattie, as we are in 2023 already, what are some of your personal and your professional goals for this year?
Well, one is to have the book come out in March for
Yes.
sure, and the journal that's going along with it, which I didn't start with the journal, but the journal came along in the process of, once again, me taking longer with the book, which I feel like it just benefited me and worked for me, right? God makes no mistakes. I definitely want to book more workshops for the DOE schools and get some larger contracts, of course. So if anyone here is a part of DOE and NYC, then tag me in. I
Yes.
definitely want to, have more coaching clients and develop more workshops that I can actually put out there. So, and that's all work that I am currently doing and definitely putting the work in to make happen. So, just to see Hattie Empowers grow, I just have a feeling that this will be my year. I have a feeling that financially, spiritually, emotionally, like everything is
Yes.
going to align with me. I feel
Yes.
like Hattie Empowers is going to blow up, but I also feel like me and my personal life is going to be just as productive and as blessed, just like Hattie Empowers. So I feel it, I believe it, I want it, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yes.
That's just it.
Hattie, let me say, sis, I decree and I declare goodness, abundance of blessings over you mentally, physically, financially, socially, and spiritually, and that all your visions, your dreams, your hard work, you being a good mother, you being authentic, you being honest, abundance of blessings in 2023 for you, sis.
And I receive it.
Yes.
Thank you. I receive all of that. With love, I receive it all. Thank you.
Oh, yes. We have to encourage each other, sis. It makes me happy when I can encourage, but it's not only that, Hattie. If you didn't tell me, I saw it from your post. It's in you. You're hungry. You're hungry for goodness. You're hungry to help other people, and it's in your content. It's the way that you show up. It's in your consistency. And I appreciate you so much for that. And I am so excited for you this year. I'm so excited about the book. I'm
Thank
so excited
you.
to see what come out. I'm excited to see what you got going. So empowerment audience, go check out Hattie Empowers. It's just going, she's going to take you places, encourage you, and motivate you. And Hattie, as we wrap up this interview, what are some empowerment seeds that you want to plant into our audience for this year of 2023?
I would say to own your stuff.
Mm,
Own your stuff. Own who you are and take care of your heart.
yes.
Check in with your heart. A lot of the hurt that you feel, a lot of the distress, a lot of the denial, a lot of the guilt, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the triggers that you feel, most of it was inflicted upon yourself because it could have been prevented. Love on you a little bit more than you love on anyone else.
Mm,
So own your stuff,
mm,
own yourself, and own your heart. Take care of your heart. And that's the most that I can say. You need to take care of your heart. We have not
mm.
been good with doing that. I have been guilty of that. We have to take
Me
care of our heart.
too.
We
Me
have to
too.
take care of our heart. And if it's
Mm,
anything that you tag me in for, is to make sure that I'm holding you accountable and
yes.
taking care of your heart.
Mm,
I'm going to do that. If you work with me, you have to do the work. You have no choice.
right. Oh.
You have no choice. You know,
You know what, Hattie, though? It's a great thing because I love what you said. You have to work on your heart. We're in a healing series. You have to take care of your heart and who you are. You have to relate to yourself, understand yourself, self reflect on yourself to create healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, and ultimately a healthier you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hattie, thank you so much for joining me on Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays and showing up as the authentic, God fearing, beautiful woman that you are.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share this space with you. I don't take it for granted. I'm very appreciative to be here with you and your empowerment audience. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you
Mhm.
so much. And audience, oh man, thank you for joining me and Miss Hattie Empowers on this episode of Relate to Create under the Healing Series of Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays right here on Red Media Radio. We are honored to have you. You're going to feel empowered. And my name is Life Coach Miss Starr, y'all, also known as Amber Starr. And you can find me on all the major social media platforms. We want to tell y'all today, God bless. And to everyone on YouTube, Hattie's information will be linked down below. Have a blessed day, and we're sending an abundance of blessings your way.
Take care.